One of our guests today on At Noon from KSFR News, a faculty member at College of Santa Fe. They've gotten a letter indicating that the college will probably close May 22nd. What's his reaction? We'll have another report in our series on Santa Fe County's planning mechanism, its process for getting information to develop a growth ordinance plan. Stay tuned to this video that will follow this immediately. Racial profiling is being discussed by state legislators, and we'll have some fun taking a look at the front pages of some of the nation's newspapers. Sure, big national news there, but also some fun local stuff too. Thanks for being with us on At Noon from KSFR News. As we've been reporting this week, Santa Fe County officials have been meeting with residents and special interest stakeholder groups on the question of what to include in a plan to manage all sorts of development in the county. The oil and gas drilling part of that plan was the first thing to be written, and it's done. Now comes all the rest. KSFR's Marian Cox has been attending a number of these sessions.
During the period of time that we met with county staff and the growth management planning team in particular, the subject of the stakeholder input process came up. This has been something that's been confusing to participants in the charrette process. It's been confusing to those of us that have covered the process. And the county really wanted to go on record describing what their stakeholder process was. County staff recognized and frankly readily admitted to us when we sat down with them that there has been confusion, not only among county residents and organized interest groups, but with the media about what the stakeholder process is, who's invited to contribute. And the stakeholder meetings, as defined by the county, are simply one component of their overall public involvement charrette process. And the county has used these stakeholder meetings to solicit or collect information from what they refer to as homogeneous constituent groups, people that are similar in their interests and therefore can communicate with county staff on a very focused set of issues. Jack Kolkmeyer, during this part of our interview with the growth management planning staff, described how the stakeholder process was being used by identifying one key stakeholder group, ranchers.
We have several very large ranches here. For some people, the ranches are open space. They're their views. For the people that own them, they are where they graze their cattle. For some other people who own them, they might be where they're going to make a living over the next 20 years with their children. So that raises a lot of issues. So once we get information from the people who own the ranches who say, well, we have Bonanza Creek, large ranches, it's a film set. So we have ranches with all of these things happening on them. So what decisions need to be made about the use of those large tracts of land over the next 10, 15, or 20 years?
Additionally, we asked county staff how they were documenting the public input that they're receiving and how those people within the county that are interested in public input are going to find out what they're hearing. And Jack Kolkmeyer, again, reminded us that on the third day of each of the planning area charrettes, that at the end of the third day, they hold a public meeting and they try as best they can to summarize what they've been hearing during the 3-day planning charrette in each of the 4 planning areas. Additionally, we asked, so what about county residents and people that have not been able to attend those third-day public outreach meetings? What happens to other people that may want to learn what the county's learning? And he readily admitted that the feedback loop, that's what the county calls it, to the public, is something that they are regularly hearing people want. The public that are showing up at their outreach activities are clearly indicating to the county that they want to know what the county's hearing from all the planning areas. Kolkmeyer acknowledged that it's a work in progress for the county. They haven't exactly decided how they're going to provide summary information to everyone, but they at least demonstrated or illustrated to us in their conversation that they're very committed to providing summary information to county residents who want feedback before they formally present their recommendations on a growth management planning ordinance to the Board of County Commissioners.
The first piece is getting everything together and then figuring out how to get
back to our constituents to be able to review that. Then its next step will be to the County Development Review Committee, the CDRC. Now, some of the feedback has been, though, hold on, wait a minute, that's the government track. We want to see it before you put it into the government track, because once it gets there, then it's on the government track. So we're hearing a lot of feedback from the community that says, give us one, get it together, give us one more shot to go over it and look at it in some fashion. We haven't figured out what that form will be.
So the bottom line is yet to be determined on the specifics,
right. Yes.
but that clearly the county has in its mind that you want to feed back what you've heard to the public prior to it getting into, quote unquote, the government process.
Right, exactly.
KSFR's Marion Cox with that report. This is the third of the series. You can catch all of them on our website, ksfr.org, beginning Monday.